Hello and welcome back for what will be our level 2 episode of Reborn, looking down into the gloomy depths of the valley in the Borderlands here on this cold moonlit night. Couple of little things. So yes, if you do happen to run into that bug with the spells not being available at level 1, don't worry too much, because you are able to select them at level 2 and onwards. So I've put the conjure bolts on there now. I mentioned the skills in passing, but I didn't actually show them, so just the standard roguey skills. I've put some in jump because we don't get a jump spell, so I'm going to need maybe a few points in there to have jump maxed out when we hit the cap, perhaps. So disable, open lock. Repair is nice. Repair is our equivalent of heal, so it helps our reconstruct line of spells to do a bit better. Search and spot. Spellcraft is nice for our electric imbue that we're going to get from level sort of 6 or 7ish. That comes out of the battle engineer tree here in the 3rd tier. Speaking of which, we're going to be building up there. It's probably not the optimal way to do it. I should probably be putting points into the harper and then respecking, but in the interest of keeping it simple, I'm just going up this battle engineer tree. This is going to be our main tree for this life. The top tier things are all pretty decent up there. This line of things is a little bit less than compelling just to get to the fusillade. So we've got I can understand why they've done it though. +1 to damage with repeating crossbows is not terrible, but on some of them you just get the +1 to hit, because the repeating crossbow is so strong and you're doing so many shots that I think they want to keep the damage in check a bit. Not going to help us now, but later we have 2 AoE shots, which it doesn't let me see it there, but they both, this one at tier 3 and that one at tier 5, both use Sunder to determine the success of the extra effects that can trigger. So Sunder is something that we are going to be looking to invest in, both in here in the battle engineer and there in the Warforged as tactic DCs. Spell I mentioned. Yes, if any of you, I use the free open broadcast software OBS to record with my very limited grasp of the thing. If any of you run into a black screen issue where it just doesn't seem to want to pick up the game screen at all, try running as admin, and that's cured it for me, at least for now. Right, I figured we'd try our traditional rite of passage for our fledgling characters, which is a run through the Borderlands, and true to form, I am starting with the highest level quest in the chain. Few little changes to the gear. So we've got the ethereal level 2 Borderlands crossbow for some tasty ghost touch against the Reapers. We have speaking of rune arm, by the way, I've got the Dragon Keeper rune arm there from the Borders, which is just going to give me a little bit of extra flame damage on the shots. Also, if I want to fire it as an AoE, it's the left alt key, I think, by default. People mention that it's kind of mostly for flavour, the rune arm, and or box breaking if you've got an explosive one. My experience would tend to tally with that. The damage is not particularly significant, but it's free damage because you're it doesn't interrupt any kind of animation or anything. It just goes off on its own. So if you can train your fingers to keep clicking the alt key, I guess that would be a thing. So yes, as mentioned, our swift boots of jump are equipped now, so I'm not going to be bothering clicking speed clickables and whatever. I think they'll do us until we get to level 6. Feather falling cloak of dodge, not terrible. And a double shot belt, and of course everybody needs to swim, don't they? So I actually quite like to swim, but I have a peculiarity that I'm only any good on my back for some reason, so I can't see where I'm going where I swim, so I need to have a lane to swim in, which does cause complications sometimes. You really wanted to know that, didn't you? Right, let's get stuck in. So there's big groups straight away here. Maybe we should try our rune arm. I don't know if that did anything. The dog is still out. Yeah, okay. So even when our damage is being nerfed by enemy resistances, we're still doing reasonable damage, and against things that take the full whack, it's hurting them, isn't it? Yeah, the dog has a knockdown element to it. That's quite nice. Can we collect that? So on the lookout for the codex page, which I have a terrible habit of just leaving. So we do, you can see the little, way up, you can see the thunder, the shocking augment I've put into the crossbow. It's got a 1d6 electric bonus that you can see going off there, plus the fire thing is the rune arm. So for anyone who didn't know, even if you don't actually fire the cannon, that kind of thing, your rune arm still gives you the benefit of, like there at the bottom you can see rune arm imbue, fire 1. So it still gives you that on all your shots, whether or not you ever make use of the cannon side of it. Let's just test our healing. Happy days. That's the Cure Serious oil from Kundarak. Let's target that Reaper now. Please don't shoot us, Mr. Reaper. Thank you. I think the dog's causing enough of a distraction to be worth having. I'm sure there is a key to tab quickly to the dog to... oh, I can't repair. I only have potions. You can't use a potion on somebody else, can you? I would have picked up repair light damage as one of my starter spells, but the game bug prevented that. I think we can see the damage on the rune arm is not particularly amazing, but it is a source of AoE, early AoE. From memory, when we had it with the bear, it was very helpful last time. When I was the sorcerer, wasn't I, swinging a sword, so I had no AoE whatsoever. This room is a bit of an enigma. I've never known how to do the puzzle, and sometimes these things are closed, which causes a problem when you don't have any either true sight or sort of thiefy skills to get through here. Burn them all. Okay. So we took a little bit of damage, but nothing too drastic. These little lights, by the way, if you didn't know, if you haven't played an Arti before, they're the rune arm charge tier. The higher level rune arms can charge all the way up to 5 and do more damage for being charged that way. I think it tells you, doesn't it, when you hover over it, charge tier 5, you can see there significantly more damage per artificer level. Let's get rid of that caster if we can. You can see the triggering of the rune arm is not interrupting at all my firing animation. And the dog's breaking the pews for us, that's nice. Now the codex page can be hidden among these pews.
Whispery voices call to you. You shouldn't be here. Step away.
But knowing my luck, it will probably be in the last place I decide to look. Oh, hello. That's pretty good. Oh, somebody hit us hard. I think it was him. Okay, find us this codex page. Not on the table. This can be a problem as well. If you kill him in this room as we did there and don't let him the chance to run away, and then you can't search for the secret door, you can have trouble. Magical attunement. No. I think we'll leave that. It used to be the case, didn't it, that people had run this chain like crazy looking for the Reaper items to crunch, but I think now they've made it so you can't get a Reaper fragment from, is it anything level 1 or 2, is it? I think. I'm not that into crunching Reaper fragments that I would really know about that.
You can see Knoll guards ahead, blocking the entrance to their camp. Just as you brace yourself for a fight, another Knoll calls out to you in a shrill voice.
This is an easy quest to leave something undone and then be left trying to figure out which bit you've missed.
She and the Knoll Outlanders want to leave the Borderlands.
You there! If you're looking for a way
On tougher
inside,
difficulties,
I've
the
got just
confined
the thing.
nature
But I
of
might need something
many
myself.
of these quests
Or Sandcloak lets
can
you
cause
in.
problems because you've just got nowhere to escape when it gets bad.
About sending their comrades to join the cult. If you can prove that Outlanders are being killed as sacrifices instead,
Of course, if you're on a
destroy
tough
their
melee
loyalty to
character,
the
you
chief.
don't need to escape. It's them that has the problem then. Speaking of tough melee characters, I still haven't looked into the Dragon Lord at all. Now, one of the Bear Party is mooting doing one of those in a future life, so I think I might like to try to feature that if possible. Where are we going? Down to Boomfoot, I think.
Boomfoot reveals that Zark Sootcloud,
Yeah, they
the
seem to have some
renowned
crazy
Outlander fighter,
crowd control with
can't
that
stand the sight of blood. Time
that
to let
AoE
Zark know
thing
what
they
he
have, the
knows.
Dragon Lords, and I think they even have some kind of instant kill with it, don't they? I haven't really looked into it, but it does sound interesting. What's happened here? Culver. Is there a lucky rat bone or something up there? Yeah, told you I'd missed something. It's like that one in the last series where I had to mention falling down from a great height in that beautiful Nightmares quest. 10 seconds later I was on the floor with egg on face. Unfortunately for Red, I don't have the purple dragon sprint boost on him that purple has. But those 15% boots were a nice find. I'm not going to complain.
Chief Bloodgleam and her cultists. You've convinced members of the tribe to turn against the cult of evil chaos and found proof that Chief Bloodgleam has been lying about sending the Outlanders to work with the
Do your job, dog.
This should be more than enough to create an uprising.
I think this might be the last chain where the dog can be at all helpful. So let's make the most of it.
Chief? Have you forgotten everything the cult has done for you idiots?
The Outlanders seem to reconsider. But you have something that will convince them. You hold up Grave Maw's bloody ring and reveal that you found it in the chief's shrine.
Chief said Grave Maw was the cult!
Oh, of course, here we have the NPC friendlies as well here to help us. We get further in so we can use the rune hound. Okay.
Not a single cultist remains standing. The Outlanders cheer, relieved that they can finally leave the Borderlands behind.
Boots of dashing. I think it's trying to tell me something. I won't take them because I already have a few.
Who laughs with her.
Oh, soddy, I'll take them.
More to these two than it initially seemed.
I just end up cluttering up inventories with such things.
Eula and Oro can finally escape into the wilds together. As they turn to leave, Eula tells you to hold on to the charm of evil chaos she gave you, in case you need help defeating the rest of the cult.
I suppose for these early quests, it wouldn't hurt to just click them once and have the always on 25% run speed, would it? Okay, down there. I still can't quite believe I did this for this horse. It required a bit of farming from, is it the Night Revel event it comes from? I just thought red horse, he's got to have the he's got to have it, even though it was perversely expensive in terms of resources to acquire compared to what is it, the sort of greeny version that came out first. Okay.
You enter the caves, determined to eliminate another threat to the residents of the keep. As the last goblin dies, you notice something glittering in the debris under the makeshift wooden walkway.
So damage-wise, I think we've got to be more than happy. And it is significantly better, I'm sure you'll agree, than the standard longbow would be. Right, now this is going to be a big pinch point, isn't it? Wish I had something special to trigger here, especially with 2 Reapers in the background. This could end up really bad. I don't have precise shot which would have given me the ability to shoot through and target that Reaper. So I kept hitting other things that were in the way, and that's why I've taken the stacking fear damage. I didn't get rid of him quick enough. Okay, let's just wait until supposedly not engaged in battle, and then trigger the heal. That's one nice change they've made, well I think so anyway, to the Reaper mode recently. When not in battle, you can you're not subject to this Reaper nerf for your self-healing. So you can sort of do the battle, wait a little second or two, do your heal and move on to the next one without sort of messing about healing 10 times just to get your health up somewhere like as it was when there was a permanent nerf regardless of the situation. Lovely stuff. Right, another pinch point coming. Get him. Even if it is only mostly flavour, I still like the rune arm going off like that. I was going to mention, we found one yesterday for Klitsch, one of the bear party. The Necro mini cannon in the Feywild. Let me just focus on this.
The magical runes on the wall are the key to opening it.
Yeah, I'm incapable of multitasking. If I'd have carried on waffling while trying to do that, it would have gone very badly. But that Necro Cannon, available from any of the rare chests in the wilderness area in the Feywild, has Ghostly on it, among other things. So it's probably one of the earliest sources of Ghostly for hitting the Reapers reliably and not having to swap in a weapon like I'm using now, the ethereal crossbow, just to be able to hit them. So maybe during the course of this life we might do a little run round the Fey rares and see if we can acquire that, show it to you. I don't know about you folks, but I really enjoy not having to swap and change weapons unless absolutely needed. So having always on Ghostly from an earlier level does have some appeal to me. Although, to get that we'd have to give up the excellent Strinty's hand cannon, which is also a level 5, isn't it, and comes from 3-barrel cove, has explosive shot for the breakable things, and
this section of the wall seems off. The armory slides open, making
what else does it?
sound.
Oh, it's craftable, so he can put the electric spell power on for the imbue, which is helpful. So decisions. I don't know about you folks, maybe it's the quests that I run or don't run, but blindness, I think in quests with Skoro sometimes, if I pronounce that right, in the desert sands, maybe once per life, maybe not even once per life, I get blindness. So having a blindness item, I just carry potions. It doesn't strike me as something that I really need to do. Right, this one can end up in a bit of a mess, can't it? I never seem to find a way to disable the trap before all hell breaks loose here. Nope. Okay, well at least now we've disabled the trap, they won't be dropping down the hole and forcing us to go down there. Get that fear reaper. Oh, the dog's almost dead. Okay. Oh right, okay, we'll take that. I don't think we did stop the runner, but we'll take it. Yes, I think the last time we did this quest, the bear sent some... She opened up the trapdoor thing, sending some kobolds down there, and she managed to avoid going down there herself, which ordinarily would have been great. But because you need to kill them as part of the quest objectives, it turned into a bit of a nightmare, didn't it? I think our poor dog's suffering a bit, but holding on. I didn't really need that key, did I? I could have just open-locked the... could have open-locked the way forward. Keep the health up just in case we run into a tricky Reaper situation. I'm not going to bother with the breakables because it'd take me more time than it's worth just to pew-pew. If I had an exploding shot thing, then of course that would be different. Oh, I think this is a discussion one, is it? Okay.
Calling for the cessation of hostilities. The kobolds react to the news of their chief's death.
Nice
It
one.
seems like relief. The elderly kobold offers you a reward for freeing her tribe from the tyrannical war chief. A
So
secret
far,
door
so good.
slides open in the common chamber. You've made a deal with the tribe. Strike down their leader to gain their support. According to the kobold crone, their chief has been behaving strangely ever since he brought the charm of evil chaos to the cave. She's happy to be rid
Yeah,
of
the
both
craftable
chief and the
rune
golden
arms,
talisman.
if you're interested, they're listed in the wiki, DDO wiki. I've been happy to use them to incorporate the electric spell power for the imbue onto Red's gear in a slot that normally you wouldn't really use for too much anyway on most characters. They sort of offhand think, well, most ranged characters would have nothing in that slot, would they? Okay, Mr. Fear Reaper.
As you enter, there's now only one way to go. Forward. That's fine with you, as this cave is said to contain much treasure. A burly minotaur stands behind a magical barrier, guarding a pile of treasure. Always more. Always more. The minotaur snorts. Who draws you adventurers like moths to the flame?
Oh, stop doing that.
Have fun
Okay.
starving in my cave with the treasure just
I
out
guess my dog might die in the traps here.
This crest
I'm not
matches
going to
one of
bother
the
to
sockets on the
disable it
minotaur's
because it
barrier.
I don't think I can get a trap bonus from that. Now the rune arm might come in handy here because these bats have almost no health. I thought thought it might. I don't know what's happening here. Is that lag? Let's try it here. What happened, game? Yeah, there's something going wrong there, isn't there? Anybody tell me why the rune arm didn't fry those critters? Let's get the boss out of the way first. So yes, to reiterate the point I made earlier, I think we can see the armour class I've picked up through these Marshall Pass lives is somewhat trivialising this early level content because they're really struggling to hit us. So even though I have very threadbare gear, it's not really mattering.
This should be enough crests to fill all of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier.
Then let's go, go, go. I think we've triggered some rats in the background there.
With all 3 crests neatly fitted into their sockets, the magical barrier fails. The infuriated Minotaur gives a roar of rage and attacks.
Dog's actually held up quite well in this chain.
Now the treasure the creature had been guarding is yours for the taking.
Reaper enchantment. Okay, let's take it. Don't think we have anything on the head at the moment, so although it's not particularly... Oh, it is. Ranged power, universal spell power, yeah. We'll throw it on. I think we're quite lucky to get that. I've done whole lives on low Reaper and not seen a single Reaper item, so where are our saves now? Oh, they're not terrible, are they? I had to laugh to myself. We were doing a quest with a couple of the bear party, one of whom was a paladin. It was low level, I think they were level 6. And already at level 6 they had a ridiculously high, I think they were in the 30s for the saves, you know, with the paladin bonus that they get to the saves. I just couldn't believe it. And of course, I think they end up all 3 saves in the hundreds, don't they, the paladins?
The stout iron lock on this door looks as though it would be impossible to pick.
Now that's one thing I haven't featured on this channel either. Any kind of paladin, not the Sacred Fist or the standard one.
Wafts tantalizingly down the corridor.
Not because I've particularly anything against them. Melee, I suppose, is my least done play style.
As the first lever is pulled, the crystal above it flares into life.
Which is, I guess, part of the reason why I suck in raids.
A small silver key is embossed on this surprisingly well-crafted lock. As the silver lock clicks open,
That's one thing I do have to show at the end of this life, though. The bear convinced me to come and try... oh, where am I going? I think I've gone completely wrong there. The bear convinced me to come and try the skeletons in the closet a couple of times. Poor Red. He died 3 times in each one. But as a reward for his
As the
pain,
second lever is
we
pulled,
did roll on
you hear
and
the
managed to
rumble of
collect the
sealed door
craftable rune
sliding
arm.
open.
Now, I still don't know why the rune arm is the only thing that you can't get from the vendor. I think I do know. It's an offhand thing, isn't it? So the shields are the same. Offhand things only drop in the raid, don't they? But anyway, I managed to get this craftable rune arm thing, and I was delighted with it. And you're gonna, if you can stomach sticking with us that far. Oh, we're feared. Oh, that's bad news, especially with the Carnage Reaper on the horizon.
As the chieftain dies,
Served me right for not killing the caster first, which I could have done easily.
far corner of the room.
So yes, you're going to get to see the craftable rune arm. It looks quite good actually. It's got a couple of sort of bony bits wrapped around the arm. The only downside to it is it's not an explosive shot, so it doesn't actually break boxes, which is a bit of a shame. Although when you get to that level, you can use... shall I take this for him? Does he have anything on the wrist at the moment? No. Okay. You can use... I interrupted myself again.
The large rusty
Talking
log on
about the
his
rune.
chest
Oh yes,
looks
you
like it
to
could be
break the
used.
boxes later on. If we don't have an exploding rune arm, we can use the AOE crossbow shots. Obviously, they have a cooldown, so it's better used when not faced by or not expecting to face a load of opponents. Oh, please don't kick us out. Is this the old loading screen of death? Could be. Come on, game. We've got places to be. I never quite know if it's a just a complete stall or if it'll eventually go in after a bit. I think this one's broken, isn't it? So let's try and redo it. I had to do a complete reinstall of the game recently. I logged out once quite normally, and on coming back in, I've read that people have had similar issues in the past. It was as though I'd never played the game before. It went to the introduction sort of sequence. It had reset all my screen preferences, so the window was all over the place, and yeah, it took me a bit to solve that. Not the happiest of times. Now please put me back in the Borderlands where I was. Thank you. Okay. Can we go now? Yeah. The double shot on the Arti is an interesting one. It's the stat itself is nerfed. You only get the benefit of 33% of your actual double shot, but you're firing 3 times in every clip, and later on 4 times. So it's actually just as beneficial to have double shot as on any other ranged build. But I made the silly mistake initially of not prioritizing
Fearing
it.
for their lives, The people of the keep have asked for your help dealing with 2 orc tribes that dwell inside this cave. Judging from the decor, each direction leads to a
Watching
different
it,
tribe's
I
home.
forever was hitting this tripwire thing, not knowing it was there, and then wondering why everything suddenly came like crazy. Runarm should do well against these frosty creatures. Hey, we can see some nice purple numbers there. The reflex save is pertaining to the Runarm shot, I think, isn't it?
Clicks into place, and the sound
If
of
you
grinding
actually
gears
wanted
can be
to
heard somewhere in
increase the
cave.
chances of them not saving, so the Runarm doing a bit more damage, you would put, I think there are separate things for helping Runarm DC, one of which we have, so you'll get to see that later. And there are also anything that helps evocation helps Runarms, I think, in addition to the Runarm DC. Why am I shooting fire at fire opponents? Come on. Get with the program.
Grinding gears can be heard once again as a gate opens somewhere in the cave.
Now we've gone from having nothing to having 2 choices now for the wrist option. I hope and believe that we have a semi-decent set of salt marsh gear for him to wear at the next level, so the threadbare nature of the gear should hopefully be a bit less so then. I'll use that waterfall as the marker for the last quest that we haven't done in here. I think it's dawn now in the Borderlands, a misty dawn. Okay.
Judging from the old bones scattered on the floor, something large and dangerous.
Tell you what would be good to do. Let's just do the Runarm on its own and see exactly what damage is being done here. Because the bats, it didn't do anything, did it? It was single figures, wasn't it? And now we're in a bit of trouble. That'll teach me to experiment. A satisfying number of misses there. Let's just get rid of these guys. I'm not sure, but maybe it only hit one target as well, the Runarm. There definitely seems to be something a bit clunky about the targeting, because that crowd of bats that I was trying to aim at in the previous quest, they should have got vaporized. They had no health, and yet nothing seemed to happen. So perhaps it's this one that has a bit of an issue, or we'll try some others as we go and see if we can have any slightly better results. I think I do actually have a different one at 3 as a possibility.
You must now confront the creature who tried to tame.
So at the moment, at least, as people like to say, we are just pretty much doing the Runarm shots for flavour. think that trap is worth disabling. Yeah.
You spot skittering vermin inside the cavern chamber ahead. You can also see the nest of something much larger.
Typically with the traps, I'm sure in company with plenty of you, I disable if I can get a little bonus from it, or if it's going to be a painful one for me. But otherwise, I tend to just leave, walk around, that kind of thing. Right, I think that concludes our Borderlands journey. I don't think that went too badly at all. I think we saw the somewhat overpowered nature that stacking the epic past lives can bring to the proceedings. So instead of taking significant damage in return, had we had an armor class, say, in the teens, or even less, we were taking virtually zero between the DR on the crafted docent I've got and the armor class, which was getting a whole load of misses. So although I guess it doesn't make for particularly gripping gameplay, it does serve to illustrate my point about making the early game easier as a reward for your efforts in epics. Okay, I think that about does it for this one. Thanks very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.